was the case. All right, so what have we got here? We've got a mad sightline from this Widow that also covers the anchor point of the team, which is this Orisa and D.Va combination. Presumably also the supports are hanging around this location as well, ready to rotate that way if Kongdu Panthera push like this. Kongdu Panthera push the high ground, obviously that Orisa shield doesn't work so well. So these guys need to rotate back over to the point, and they can then play the back stairs with the Orisa. And they've still got a pretty decent Widow sightline down that way. Best, but decent. And then Sparkle is scouting and can also rotate fairly quickly. I guess they could try some kind of counter dive mechanism, but I don't think they're going to go for that. I think it's super risky if they tried to actually dive with Daco and Sparkle at some point. Just the two of them. That seems a suicide mission to me. So I'm not quite sure what Sparkle's job is here, other than calling out scouting for the team and trying to help this anchor point. Ain't really sure. Let's see how it. So team's rotating around the right hand side. This is going to force a rotation out of Element Mystic. They can now play all around this side of the map instead. So see if I can get a decent angle here. So they're playing Sparkle as if they kind of had a flanking tracer, it seems. So okay, so what happened here? Let's see if I can draw it. So I was describing what would happen if Kongdu Panthera flanked this way and took the high ground above where Decay is currently. They would have rotated and played around the stairs. So they would have had their Widow, maybe in this window even, but it could have been just at the top of the stairs. You have this Widow sightline all the way through here. You would have had your Orisa and your D.Va set up on the other side of the bell. Supports would have rotated to that back platform over there. So again, you're all playing in this sightline. Instead, Kongdu Panthera rotated that way. And that means that the Orisa and D.Va can play on this choke point, still contesting the point, forcing Kongdu Panthera to play the aggressors into them. The supports just play in this room here, and can potentially peel for each other. And Z gets the sightline above. And Sparkle is the key one that I didn't really understand what his role was, but they're playing him like a literal backstabber. So in theory, if Kongdu Panthera rotate around this way, Sparkle plays on the pagoda roof, and he's going to be able to come in behind them and harass them and stop them putting all of their attention on the Orisa and the D.Va. And a lot of the time you'll see teams do that with a Tracer, but I haven't really seen teams do that with a Genji. Now, Arhan plays a little bit like this, plays off on the flank on his own. Definitely, this is the kind of stuff that the Houston Outlaws could experiment with, assuming Arhan learns English at some point. But I actually quite like this as well because the pagoda is perfect stuff for Sparkle to play around. There's a lot of good things for him to play around as a solo Genji there. It's pretty difficult to pin him down. So before when I was saying that Widow Genji in general doesn't work that well because the Genji can't flank, and doesn't really want to be playing on their own because they don't have really as many movement abilities as the Tracer. It doesn't really matter if you got a big ass fucking pagoda there to play off because you can then jump on top of it and you can fight underneath it and you got a health pad to play around and all of that good shit. Now the problem is Decay has got into the backline here, and that's gonna force the attention. Well, that should force the attention of the supports to peel for each other, and Daco perhaps to come back if the supports can't handle that on their own. But instead, Decay is not actually focusing the supports, and instead they're just focusing on Daco. I think they've probably learned from the last map that he is the issue. Maybe they got a halftime break or something and talk to their coach. They've de-meched Daco here. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that almost all of these Orisa-centric strategies crumble as soon as you de-mech the D.Va. I really don't see a way back for Element Mystic unless they clutch their pants off with Sparkle and C. Because this puts so much pressure on Pokpo. Pokpo is definitely going to go down as soon as Daco goes down. Now that the tanks are down, they can turn their attention to Sparkle. He dies. Repel dies as well. So it's like Daco is the anchor. Is that fair to say, the anchor of this? He's the plug. He's the plug of this composition. And that was the case on the Numbani one as well. They just couldn't get in a position where they could actually focus him.